What is going on, everybody? This is episode 472 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my co-host. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. There is obviously some big news. The elephant in the room is that Brett is about to play Snow White.
Yes, I am.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
What does this role mean to you?
Well, see, I was scared of the original movie back in 1937 when my parents showed it to me. And I just figured we're not going to make it. I'm going to be a strong, independent woman in the movie. That's what I'm going to be. Just like Dane is every woman.
Supposed to say that you're independent. You're going to be loyal to the source material?
No, I'm not. No, I don't care about that.
Do you want to fall in love with the prince?
Prince, can it be a princess, please?
All right.
Perfect.
This is a bad idea.
Guys, we are going to be talking about a bunch of stuff today, one of which is the fact that the Daily Wire has announced that they are making their own rival Snow White movie to come out in 2024 with Brett Cooper starring as Snow White, which is very exciting for the culture. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about it. We're also going to talk about a bunch of other stuff that's coming out of the Daily Wire right now, which is really exciting. We are also going to have a much less exciting discussion about Britney Spears, who has revealed in bombshell reports around her autobiography, which is coming out soon. I believe it's October 24th, right?
Yeah,
October 24th. So she revealed that her and Justin Timberlake got pregnant and she had an abortion. And there's kind of conflicting reports here as far as how the articles are worded about who...
We have the direct quote, though.
Yes, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that, what it means. We're also going to talk about the fact that Kevin Spacey, who was just found not guilty on multiple charges of SA recently over in the UK, he had a movie premiere canceled in the UK for his new film called Control, right? We're going to watch the trailer?
Yeah, it's not really his film. He's hardly even in it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. He also gave a speech at Oxford Union. We're going to talk about that. Douglas Murray gave him the introduction. So we're going to talk about that. They talk about cancel culture. Also, Millie Bobby Brown realized that she was, in fact, a feminist after visiting a psychic, which is maybe the most wholesome thing I've heard today somehow.
Is it?
It's the closest thing I can get to wholesome today.
I'd say makes sense.
Yeah.
Psychics are demonic, and so is feminism.
There you go. So we're going to get into that. We got a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that's this news that came out yesterday was kind of crazy because it came out like right as the show was ending. And somebody...
Right, like bad timing.
Yeah, for everything. So... we asked the chat today. We said, let us know. There's a question up in the chat right now. It says, what are you looking forward to more? Are you looking forward to Brett Cooper as Snow White, or are you looking forward to Rachel Zegler flopping? And so far, people are being more wholesome. They're looking forward to seeing Brett Cooper as Snow White with 68%.
Positivity, guys.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But before we get started, guys, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? We're creeping up on 73,000 subscribers. We want to get there soon. We want to get to 75,000 soon, so please go ahead and do that. Like this video, share this video with your friends, leave comments on the videos, all the good stuff. Turn the notification bell on. You know the deal. Remember that all Super Chats, $20 and over, we will interrupt the discussion. We will read it right then and there, and then we will do our best to get back on topic, which I don't always do well, but I try my best. Mary's better about that than me.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started then, Mary. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
She's ready. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, first things first, Warwick Davis was very upset over the removal of Willow from Disney Plus, and he calls it an embarrassment for the streaming service. And you made a point. You said this film was...
It was in development, getting written, getting filmed, getting edited for longer than it ended up streaming on Disney Plus, which is ridiculous. It's laughable.
Yeah, a little bit.
And all that for some shitty reboot. It's just throwing shit at the wall and it never sticks.
But I see your point. It says,
I meet lovely people on a daily basis who are fans of Willow, who are the reason the Disney Plus series were made. Please tell me, Walt Disney Company, what do I say to these subscribers when they ask why they can't watch the series anymore? Hashtag embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Disney.
Well, that's not his fault.
No,
that's Disney's fault for continuing to greenlight a bunch of horrible derivative projects instead of making up new ideas.
Yeah, and that's going to keep happening until they cut back on everything. I did see somewhere that said that they profited like $20 billion last year, but I guess when you're spending $80 billion, like when you're
Profited
spending,
from the theme parks?
like no, I mean I think like $5 billion of it was
merch.
the theme parks, but yeah, like they need to make more. Like it's just not enough.
Because like it's certainly not anything to do with their streaming platform. It certainly has nothing to do with their movies, except for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like all of that is a loss. So where's the money coming from?
It listed that the streaming service is still net negative for them, so they're not profiting from it at all. So, all right, guys. Oh, also speaking of reboots and stuff, they are going to be making a reboot of Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yes, the Michael Vaughn movie. I'm sorry, Matthew Vaughn. Michael Vaughn's a different person. The Matthew Vaughn movie from 2010, which I absolutely love. I don't have any memories really all that much of the sequel, but I love that original Kick-Ass. It doesn't need a reboot, as we know, but they're gonna do it anyways, as Hollywood does.
Do you? I didn't see the original.
I don't think. Yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember. I think you might like it. I think it might be worth you checking out.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I oftentimes don't recommend stuff for you because like you're kind of
because I'm such a hater.
Because you're picky, right? I think you might like Kick-Ass.
Okay.
So I think you should check that out. But as we know, Aaron Taylor Johnson's, Chloe Grace Moretz, Nicolas Cage, they're all in very different places in Hollywood now than
in
they
that
were in
picture,
2010.
he had already been dating his now wife for a year.
Is that true?
I'm kidding.
No. Okay.
But
Okay.
he was pretty close to meeting her.
Yeah. So yeah, and the movie made $160 million at the box office, which would be more now. Like, and I think like at that time it was subversive because they were making a lot of origin stories in 2008, right? Like before 2010 when this movie came out. They were making a lot of origin stories. Batman Begins came out in 2006. The Dark Knight came out in 2008. And Iron Man came out in 2008. So you're getting a lot of like standard comic book fare from the big two. So seeing a movie like this, which was very different from the traditional comic book film, was pretty subversive at the time. And now maybe what we need is another more subversive movie rather than the standard CGI, garbage we're getting every day now.
Right.
Like I think they could go with it. Are they going to be able to do the kind of the humor that they did back then? I don't know, but it would be interesting to see them try.
No, I think all reboots are a mistake at this point.
And I don't think it would be good, but I would certainly let them try, since what the hell.
It's kind of crazy that like literally everything is a reboot now.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. It's and
I'm
not
trying to think of exceptions, and I can't.
Samaritan wasn't a reboot, but that was that was an Amazon Prime.
Was it
movie.
Really memorable?
Sound of Freedom.
Was it anything
wasn't a reboot.
of note?
No, it wasn't. But most of them are. Like I'm sure somebody in the chat, like you're putting me on the spot here, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't think
tired old ideas.
Yeah, somebody says it wasn't even that old yet. I mean, it's coming up on 15 years old the year after next. So
they're not even letting these properties age or like have their own moment before they resurrect them.
Nope.
At this point.
And they can't make new stuff. What
are they going to do next? Like a Stranger Things spin-off?
Probably.
They haven't finished it yet, but
Stranger Things.
Strangest Things.
Yeah, Strangest Things. But also, speaking of Matthew Vaughn, there is this story about how they allegedly duped Halle Berry into the third X-Men movie, and it's why he pulled out of like making the film. He was like set up to direct that movie. If you don't know, he also did the Kingsman movies, but he was on tap to do X-Men 3, and it says... here's how Vaughn explains. He says he went into one of the executives' office and saw a script for X3, which he says he realized was notably bigger than the script he had. When he asked what it was, he claims the executive told him not to worry about it, which you should all... if an executive if you see something fishy and a big rich movie executive says, don't worry about it, it's probably something to worry about.
Oh, don't look at that.
Yeah. But he insisted, and he rifled through the script and noticed there was an entire scene about Storm, which had been added, where she helps starving kids in Africa by using her superpowers. And he asked what the heck it was, pointing out that wasn't in the version that he had gotten. So they gave him a different version, which didn't have that in there. And the response he got back is what made him pull out of doing the film. He basically said, yeah, we're gonna pitch this to Halle to Halle. I almost want to say Bailey.
Barry.
Halle,
Barry.
we're gonna pitch this to Halle Berry, and then we're gonna pretend like we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna just leave it on the. We're just not gonna do it. It's just it's a.
They couldn't get her to take the role.
They needed her to do that. She did sign back on too. So it says, in other words, they were going to pretend to include the scene that Halle wanted in the movie, but then scrap it when she signed on to do the movie. Very, very shady tactics from those movie studios.
Interesting.
Not very nice of them to do that. All right. Oh, and speaking of the other Halle, there's
Her
Haley.
successor.
Yeah. Yes.
Not Haley. It's still Halle. Bailey.
Yeah.
She's pregnant. She's done with her Disney princess days.
This is not announced though.
It's not announced. It's not confirmed. But I mean, look at the pictures. Go zoom in on those. I mean, that's all but confirmed. Like, she's not really trying to hide it at this point.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, I guess, is some kind of YouTuber. I don't know.
Yeah.
He also has some bandages in both of his arms, and she does too.
Wonder what that's about.
Yeah. I don't know. Paternity test?
Could be.
No, I'm kidding.
Could have gotten. No, he's got it on both arms.
Yeah, and then she has it on one at least.
I wonder what that's about.
No, but she's definitely pregnant. I saw her like photoshopping her waist to the extreme just a month ago, and it was clear that she was overcompensating for something.
And somebody says, "Or she's fat." She's not fat.
No,
she's pretty.
That's not what fat looks like. Like, she hasn't gained weight anywhere except for in her belly.
So is this the prince's fault from the movie?
No, he would never.
He would never.
But we can't have a pregnant Disney princess.
No. Well,
we won't have that.
I heard they were going to make a sequel of this, but I think that might have been an animated sequel.
I don't think they're doing that. I thought they were making a Disney Plus.
Is that what it was?
Streaming
was it
show.
A show?
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, they'll have to wait till after she has the kid.
Has nothing to
can
do with
that.
her. She's not going to be on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, how old is she? She's like 23, 24?
Something like that. Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Her fans are being really mean to her about it.
Why?
They don't want her to be pregnant because they don't like her boyfriend.
Why not?
They also think she's too young.
Is he a prank YouTuber?
I don't know.
I only care if
if he's some YouTuber. I immediately have negative connotations with that.
That's us. We are YouTuber, technically.
Would anyone be happy about it if you were Halle Bailey's boyfriend? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they would be.
Well, hey!
But they're basically saying like she should wait until she's 41 to have her first kid, and it's like
high risk pregnancy.
I'm sorry, that's not really what happens for most people.
Yeah, high risk pregnancy.
Not reality.
Yeah, Well, she'll have to wait on movie roles, but I'm sure she made enough off the first movie to.
She'll be fine.
So, yeah. Oh, also, Alicia Keys is in deep trouble.
Yeah, apparently paragliding is on her bucket list. And she decided to let Instagram know, and everyone interpreted that as her celebrating Hamas terrorists.
I mean, it was horrible timing.
Yes, but was it on purpose? Do you think that this was actually a subliminal message?
I don't know enough about her her history.
She reacted and she said, "The post I shared earlier was completely unrelated in any way to the recent devastating loss of innocent lives. My heart has been breaking. I pray for and stand for peace."
I can't imagine that if she actually wants a career that she would have done that.
If Alicia Keys wants to go paragliding, what is stopping her?
Yeah. I don't know. She's got the money, right?
She's got, all the time in the world.
I remember when my family went on we didn't go on big vacations, right? We had a family member in our extended family that owned a cabin in Wisconsin that we'd go to in the summer sometimes, but we didn't go on out of state vacations. But we did go to North Carolina once, and I was just all of the adults got to go parasailing. I was too young. I was not allowed to go parasailing. I was pissed.
That sucks.
I wanted to go parasailing. Looks fun.
How old do you have to be?
I don't know. But I think I was 8 or 9 when we went.
Just be careful because they're going to come for you and say that you're actually celebrating terrorism.
But parasailing and paragliding are not the same thing.
Doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter.
No.
Okay.
Context never does.
Well, when was the last time we talked about Alicia Keys? It was the thing when her daughter or her son was
We've
asking her.
never talked about Alicia Keys.
Okay, she was going out to a show and her son asked her why she was dressed like that.
Oh, her son was scandalized that she was going out in nothing but nipple pasties?
Or something like that, right?
Yeah, then all the comments were teach him to empower women.
Teach him that nipple pasties are empowering to
Normalize
women.
nipple pasties to 7-year-olds. Yeah.
That sounds
our
very
culture
Twitter
now.
That sounds very Twitter to me. Twitter to me. I don't know. That's I feel like this day and age, like there's just so many ways you can go wrong on the internet that speaking on anything during any time of high emotional stress for the culture is just a bad idea, even if it's not connected to it at all. Because we're going to be talking about it later with like the name for the Daily Wire animation company. Like you can't win these days.
Oh, Bent Key?
Yeah, you can't win.
Wait, what was that? How is that an
because
issue?
somebody said that was that bent wasn't an appropriate word for the name. Like you can't win these days. Like somebody's going to be mad at you for something.
Yeah.
Right?
That was not the majority of people saying that.
But I'm just saying, like in general, you're kind of screwed these days if you ever if you speak out during times like this, because somebody's going to take it the wrong way, no matter what you're talking about. But yeah, these people were very upset with her, not very happy at all. So, all right.
That sucks for them.
Also, in fantastic news,
Waka Flocka Flame has officially endorsed the 2024 Trump campaign.
Are you excited about this?
This is a historic moment.
It is.
He truly has won the black vote, though.
Somebody pointed this old tweet from him from 2015 that says,
What changed his mind?
I can't even confirm whether that's real or not.
So he currently has Sexy Red.
Yes.
I bet he has Nicki Minaj, too.
I want Lil Durk.
Lil Durk, too?
I believe
Waka Flocka Flame.
And
was 50 Cent a Trump supporter?
No. He remember he backtracked on complaining about the economy, and then people are like, people got very mad at him. Who else? He had
Ice Cube is undecided.
Yeah, Lil Wayne would probably be undecided. He was. I know he met with both him and Biden. So he can win. He's got a path to victory.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know how much sway Waka Flocka Flame has in the current culture.
I do love this photo, though. It's the most. I need to work on my.
It's crazy that he's taller than Trump.
Yep.
Because Trump is like a gargantuan man. He's like, what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
Probably wears lifts, too.
I got to get that, like,
he's
the
like,
waist high.
So he's like
up.
6'8" or something. And then if you put Barron in the picture, his head would get cut off at the top. I just realized that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce could have a kid that's taller than Barron.
Play pro basketball instead of pro football. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know if this is necessarily going to make the biggest difference, but right now it's
just funny. I don't care.
It is absolutely
I don't
funny
actually
to see
care.
this type of stuff happen. Who else has he won the vote? So he says definitely not Eminem.
Sexy Red is literally going to be the most important endorsement that he gets.
I don't think he's won the black vote, but I do think that these might help a little bit, I guess.
I don't know.
But
he's tried.
He's doing his best. Yep. All right. What would you like to see? Because we got 2 cringes today. Would you like to see cute or cringe of the day?
We'll start with cute then, I guess.
All right. We got two cringes of the day. All right. First things first. I found this one. I submitted this one. The bucko is cute. The rest of it's just creepy
I don't
looking.
understand. I walk into work one day and suddenly there's just this mannequin sitting creepily in the corner, and I'm like, I asked them this morning. I was like, "What's with the thing?"
They say,
and they were like, "We just, it's just there." And I was like, "Okay,
okay." And the
fine.
scariest part is, like, guys, if you're up here. When we come down from we're in the attic. We're literally in the attic here, right? And you go downstairs, and then you go down the hallway, and then you go down so from the top level here, right outside of the stairs, you just see creepy feet on the ground, and they never move, and they just sit there. But Bucko was looking very, very.
I guess Bucko doesn't mind it.
No, Bucko doesn't seem to mind. Also, I do kind of disavow the candy corn that's in the background there.
I hate that.
I posted a picture recently. I on Twitter of candy corn pizza. It's an actual pizza made of candy corn. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Ew. Candy corn, worst Halloween candy.
What fresh? I mean, the peanuts are gross too.
Circus peanuts.
The circus peanuts are gross too.
Yeah.
But I would probably rather eat the circus peanuts than the candy corn. Chat, circus peanuts or candy corn, what would you prefer?
I'd rather die than have either of those.
There you go. That's a perfect
Also,
answer.
Milk Duds, not good.
I have no problem with Milk Duds. Though I prefer
Almond Joy?
Oh,
Gross.
gross. $20 one here from, hold on.
Oh, another thing, what's the Cowtails?
I love cow.
Those are so gross.
I love those. Okay. We got a $20 one here from, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. Dat Pie over there. That's what it says. And it says, hey, Brett, since you're a Peacock user, I got to know if you've been trying keeping up with the WWE since all the pay-per-views stream there. Ever since Triple H took over creative control last year, it's been the best it's ever been in over a decade. I have to admit, man, like I listen to wrestling podcasts to keep up with the industry. I don't watch the product anymore. I was just listening to this past week's episode of Salamonster Sounds Off. He was talking about how CM Punk floated out, he sent out feelers to WWE, and WWE's like, yeah, we're not interested. So I keep up with it only so far as like I get the updates on social media as stuff is coming in. That's kind of how it's become with like all the things that I used to love. Like growing up, all the hobbies or things that I used to love, other than skating, right? I don't watch anymore, but I get updates online. Like I don't watch baseball live anymore, but I follow John Boy on Instagram and get game highlights from like interesting things that happen in baseball. I don't follow wrestling anymore. I just listen to podcasts and watch social media clips that get posted later. It's kind of like that though. Like it's like I used to go through phases where I'd get back into it and then fall out, but I'm just busy. So when I get done, I just don't have time. I should try to at least watch the pay-per-views since they are available on. I heard that Peacock gave WWE $1 billion for the rights to the pay-per-views, which is crazy. Damn. So, I mean, just think about that. Like that used to be a thing. You used to have to pay like $39.95 per pay-per-view. So like they'd have like a new pay-per-view at the end of every month. And you'd have to pay $39.99, sometimes $50 to get like the 3-hour show. Now you pay $5.99 a month for, I guess it's more than that. It's like, I don't know how much Peacock is, but I'm sure the no ad tier is over $10. And you pay that per month and you get everything on Peacock as well as all the pay-per-views and like the 9-hour pre-shows that they do beforehand, which nobody in their right mind would actually watch. No sane person. So yeah. All right. Let's do 2 more. Since mine doesn't really count, I get to slip mine in there.
Yeah.
But we have a bunch of submissions here. This one's from Alex Making Beds. Says, I visited my parents today and snatched this picture of Samu. He's the best boy who sleeps between them in their bed.
Is he making beds?
He's making beds.
And writing a novel on the side?
And he's, can the dog write a novel? He can paw a novel?
I suppose.
That's adorable. Very cute. And he looks very contemplative right there. Let's do one more. This one from Pigtaku says, Rory sleeping while his mom works from home.
Have you seen dogs run in their sleep? Like
No.
they have a dream about running and they start moving their legs around.
And they start pawing around.
You haven't seen this?
No.
I loved when my dog did that.
That's adorable. All right. Let's go to, now that we've shown you the cute, let's go and check out the cringe of the day. First one here is from...
Not Jeremy Boring.
No, it's not.
Okay.
This one here is from Kelly Versetti. I don't know who that is. That's whoever posted it. Let's watch this video. Mary sent me this yesterday. Oh my God.
The caption is, bro was too confused to cry.
And it says no baby was injured in this video. That was crazy. What the hell did I just watch?
Press X to doubt.
What the hell did I just watch? That was child abuse.
That baby has not even learned how to sit up yet.
No.
And you were like, this is a great idea.
Why is it forward?
It's sort of like the cursed cop sliding down the slide.
Yeah, except for this baby doesn't have any autonomy or the ability to choose to go down the slide or not. What the hell is that mom doing?
I mean, from the looks of that cop, he didn't have any autonomy either.
Why is the kid not in her lap?
I don't get it either. I don't know.
The hell did I just watch?
Yeah, a lot of people treat kids like dolls these days.
What the fuck did I just watch?
Thankfully, babies are resilient, so I hope that that baby's okay.
Yeah, let's hope
That's
so.
That's crazy,
that was insane. Like, and not just that, then it got posted to social media. Someone thought that was a good idea.
This is so funny. This is fun. Yeah, no.
Have you ever seen those fake videos of like the person who like does the backflips with the baby in the backpack, but it's like it's a fake baby? And then like, so like he does the backflip and they're like, wow, look, no, the baby didn't get hurt. And then he pulls the mannequin out and throws it.
Well, they did that North Face ad where they throw the baby across a canyon.
That baby's an adult now.
That's crazy.
Yep, that was crazy. I mean, that was like, It was the 90s, okay?
They better have had a net or something under there.
Oh, there was no net when they did that.
Yikes.
Not back in the day.
Imagine they had to do multiple takes. It makes me sad.
The kid needed to be in her lap, or at least on its.
I mean, obviously, yes.
That's
Brett.
crazy. All right. And then Mary sent me this one, which is just disturbing.
This did not happen recently. This was an old episode of The View, but Sofia Vergara just made like the most out of pocket comment that I can't repeat.
And also, I think it's something. You're a single mom of a teenage son who's 18.
I
Girl,
know,
you look
it's
so
horrible.
good.
I cannot lie about my age because they count and they, you know.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I
What if you had
can't.
it when you were 12?
Yeah, 13.
13,
I was raped.
What's it like to have a teenage son? And how
Whoopi Goldberg
does he
is
feel when
like
people
trying
say,
to
boy,
keep
your
it
mother is
together.
really...
Whoopi had the right reaction.
You're like,
Okay. They're like, that got dark very, very quickly.
then they were like, change the subject.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Moving on. What the hell?
Yeah.
What year was this from? Like,
I have no idea. I mean,
holy crap.
I don't think someone would say something like that on TV today.
No, I don't think so.
No, they
that
would
was
not.
that was slightly disturbing. Just a tiny bit disturbing, if you ask me. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and move on then, shall we?
Anyways.
Now that we're done with the creepy stuff, that was those cringy and creepy. All right, guys. Now that we are 28 minutes in, let's go ahead and get started. So. Just yesterday, it was announced that the Daily Wire is going to be releasing their own version of Snow White starring Brett Cooper. Jeremy Boring basically points out in this that Disney has fallen, it's strayed from the path that they were once on, and it's no
Yes.
longer kid-friendly, and they want to create an alternative to that and announce this film. What did you think?
He said, instead of telling stories about timeless truth, what the ancient fairy tales were all about, Disney's new Snow White is an apology for their past and will expose children to the popular but destructive lies of the current moment. I mean, that might be a little bit of a premature take on the film, given that it's not out yet. That
But he's saying
they
that
haven't
that's
done
true of
press
all
for it in like a
their-
year.
But
That
he's saying
is
it's
true
of all
of
their movies. He's saying, like, whether
most
you like it or not.
reimagined fairy tales, yes. But I mean, just because Rachel Zegler is messing up all of their PR for the film and can't correct herself right now because of the strike, it doesn't necessarily mean that we know it's going to be
Yeah, but they did it
evil.
they did it during the promotion for The Little
It's
Mermaid.
at
and they
D23,
changed
yeah.
and they changed the promotion they changed The Little Mermaid. So they did this with all their movies. So it's not uncommon for this to happen. Let's watch the trailer that Daily Wire made here.
It's not exactly a trailer.
It's
more
a
of
teaser. Sorry, it's a
clip
teaser. I
here.
apologize. Teaser. Here we go.
Once upon a time, in time a prince would come. Once upon a time, but now that time is gone.
So it says coming soon, and this is
2024.
going to come out in 2024. They didn't say when, they didn't say how.
Probably by next year. Like by the end of like
By
we're talking like
late
December of next-
2024
December
is
of
what
next
I'm
year.
guessing. Like they're not super far into the production of it yet, but I am really hoping, for meme's sake, that they get this a theatrical release, however limited, like just to say that they competed with Disney's Snow White in theaters.
It should be called Also Snow White.
I need Battle of the Snow Whites. I know Rachel Zegler is crying into her pillow right now. She is screaming. She is punching the wall. She is losing it right now because she realized, oh, I'm not the only one vying for this role. And if someone else can do it better,
Yeah.
They're going to notice how bad the Disney flop is.
Here's what Dallas said about it. He said, the craziest part about this teaser was pausing on Pendragon one day during production and having the whole team rally around Brett and Jeremy to make this. We had the dress designed from scratch. We shot the teaser on a mountainside in Trento, Italy. No one totally knew what we were doing, but that all just went along with it for a few hours and didn't complain.
No one knew that they were planning this?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that really interesting? But
yeah, she has a role in the Pendragon Cycle series that they're making as well.
I don't know. Like, look, I'm not gonna if I was to ask them, like, if they were to ask me my opinion and they wouldn't ask me my opinion isn't worth much of anything, I guess. But I would rather see them make their own like original fairy tale. But
they're doing that in addition
Yes.
to making an adaptation,
Yeah.
and this is part of public domain at this point, so it's not like it belongs to Disney solely belongs
I wonder what
to
they'll
Disney.
do. What will they
And
do
one
next?
of-
Look, they got there's a bunch of stuff in public domain. They could do King Kong. They could do Sherlock. Sherlock entered public domain this year. They could do like any of the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories.
I suppose
they could make their own version of Robin Hood with a Y.
But I thought you were just saying that you wanted them to do originals.
I'm gonna meme here. Like, what if they're gonna do that? I also said maybe they could do like Space Jam with Kyrie Irving, but they couldn't do that. But I know what I want. If it's not, do you remember A Star Is Born with Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper? They need to do A Star Is Born with Kid Rock.
Why?
I want them to make funny meme movies. That's what I would rather they see. Or remake House with Matt Walsh.
Oh, that would be good, actually.
Like House with Matt Walsh and Cuddy is
At least a sort of skit version.
Yeah, and Cuddy is played by Ben Shapiro's wife because she's a doctor.
I would like a Daily Wire launched version of SNL.
That'd be interesting. Like, and there's enough people in the space that they could bring people. I mean, it'd be like the guests would rotate more frequently than they would in Hollywood because they can bring new people in.
Yeah.
Every so often.
Yeah.
But it would be harder to do. But there's all sorts of things they could do.
One person in the chat said that they don't think this is a good idea to make an adaptation of Snow White. They should do their own original stuff, and they shouldn't focus on making conservative clapbacks. What is your
I don't disagree.
response to
I don't
that? Do you think of
disagree.
this as a conservative clapback? Because even if it is, I know that their intention is to make something apolitical.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but it's still framed in the world of we're answering to this.
it happens to be that the timing is right. And that's why they rushed into this production, is because the timing is right. This is great PR timing.
Yeah,
Like, people are talking about Rachel Zegler right now. They're talking about Snow White. They're talking about the fact that they're not being loyal to the source material.
Yeah.
Rachel Zegler is a huge name to the point where even AI is making videos criticizing her.
Yeah.
So obviously a response is warranted.
I would make something different.
It's a smart, like, it's a clever move.
It's a very smart business move.
It's a
for
business.
them.
Yeah, it's a
but
business.
it's still going to keep them boxed into the realm of response politics, like much like what we're doing here, right? But it doesn't escape that. Like the Hyperions was the best example, I think, of them escaping that bubble, or Run, Hide, Fight. But those weren't originally produced by them, right? Or even Terror on the Prairie. Like, I don't have a problem. Like, I like that. I don't like the idea of going into the public domain because now you're boxing yourself into this battle with Disney, and that might be good for your business model, I guess. But I don't know if it's necessarily going to change the culture in the way they expect it to.
Disney's
but
just
also
this behemoth that is seemingly indestructible.
And I could be wrong. Like, look, if you look at this, if this movie comes out really, really well, right? And you look back on it 10, 20 years from now, when when the politics of it fade and you forget that it came out at the same time as another Disney version of it, maybe that doesn't matter then. So maybe they're right? So like, I don't like it because the timing just seems like you're doing it because you're working within the framework of your competition, which is this company that you're trying to provide alternative entertainment to. But then it boxes you in. And I do think it boxes you in and prevents you from growing to outside viewers. But if they don't mind that, that's fine. And I don't have a problem with that. And perhaps if the movie's really, really good, and then in 10 years, people forget that it was competing with a Disney movie, and they forget that it was part of a conservative media company, then people might really, really like it for reasons other than the fact that it was something other than an anti-Disney movie.
I think that it balances out, given that they're developing just as many projects of their own that are original ideas in addition to this. And people forget that Snow White isn't a Disney creation. Disney adopted that IP. It's not theirs. It's a Brothers Grimm fairy tale. Like,
yeah, but
they adapted it at first. It's not something that belongs to them. Yes, its legacy has been adopted by them, and when you think of Snow White, you do think of Disney princesses and the whole lineup of them, but still, like, it shouldn't be just theirs to make movies about. And I know that the Kristen Stewart Snow White movie wasn't Disney at all.
Yeah.
And it was actually, in my opinion, really good.
Yeah. I mean, and that's true of some other properties, like I said, like they now we have stuff coming out where they're going to be able to make Sherlock Holmes movies that are public domain, stuff like that. Not everything has to stay attached to a company, right? But I just see it, and I'm also my vision here is clouded and blinded by the fact that I'm part of what all of this. I'm inside of all of this. Well, it's going like. All of this is going on, and I'm paying attention to it. People on the outside might not.
The timing is also, as Jeremy Boring pointed out, on the 100th year anniversary of Disney, the company existing, and they made this commemoration skits about it. Like, what is it called? Once Upon a Studio. Yeah. But it's more so at a very bleak time for Disney to have this anniversary happen. We also found this report that Bob Iger is overwhelmed and exhausted from difficulties of rebuilding his company amid strings of losses. And insiders in the company say he's expressed regret for coming back in the wake of former CEO Bob Chapek stepping down. Yeah. I know I wouldn't want to be in his position right now.
And in Disney, and the other thing is, like, the Daily Wire did do well with, like, Terror on the Prairie and all these other things that they've made, right? So I have no doubt that this movie will come out looking just fine. I'm
not so sure. Like, a lot of people didn't like Terror on the Prairie.
I'm just saying that it'll come out being fine. I don't know. It's not going to make more money than the Disney version, but no one's expecting it to. It's going to the streaming service.
Of course we're not expecting it to make as much money or make as much of a splash as something made by Disney.
They also did well with this same type of marketing when they made Jeremy's Chocolates and Jeremy's Razors.
But again, it's easier to make razors and chocolate than a movie. Yeah. That's way less of an investment. There's way less complications. Yeah. Disney is not the same as a chocolate bar company.
The other movie they're making seems more like I guess if I had to choose between the two they're making, but they're making both Pendragon and this.
Well, that's a TV series.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but it's more original because it's based on a book, but it's not something that's co-opting like that another studio is making something similar to right now.
But they're showing that they can do both. Yeah. They don't want to do just one.
If they were just making the Snow White one, it might call into question. But if you're doing both, you can do both.
Yeah.
And it's impressive. It's damned impressive that they're getting all this stuff done.
Another big part of this announcement was that BentKey is going to be Daily Wire's own streaming service. And this streaming service is going to host a huge library of children's entertainment content. They already have put out like 400 episodes of 18 different shows, and they're saying they're going to release another episode every Saturday. Like Saturday morning cartoons are coming back. And all the Daily Wire subscribers are going to have a subscription to BentKey. But they're also just marketing it on its own because they want it to be apolitical and it has a different name so that it's not inherently associated with Daily Wire.
Which is smart.
BentKey, I don't know what the meaning of it is, but a lot of people had an issue with the name. I think that's kind of a stupid criticism. Like, look at the content. I think the trailer is promising.
Let's watch it.
Is it not loading?
It'll load a second here.
Hi, you made it.
Oh, hello.
Wanna play?
I've seen enough. These two are ready.
Ready or not, here we go. Please keep your arms and legs inside the cart at all times.
Hurry up, the party is starting soon.
Yeah! Follow me! Where is he going? We're going on a treasure hunt.
We're exploring the wild blue yonder.
It's Chiller time!
Pretty incredible.
It's unbelievable. Whether big or little, little or big, we all have fabulous adventures together.
Wow! It's time to head off for adventure. Look around you. All we need is the bit of music.
Drum solo!
Imagine this.
Hey parents, download the BentKey app. New episodes available every Saturday.
And Jeremy Boring said they're wanting to bring high quality kids entertainment that never insults the values of everyday Americans. BentKey isn't about teaching kids partisan politics. It's about adventure, wonder, and joy. It's about letting kids be kids without progressive indoctrination. So it's nice that the goal is for this to be apolitical.
Absolutely.
Not trying to indoctrinate kids in the opposite direction either.
Different name helps big time with that,
Like you could
too.
say that's what Legacy Disney was.
Yep.
Legacy Disney, aside from all its faults, like it wasn't outwardly political. So I don't want my kids to be watching Patriot Bluey. Like thinking about it from that perspective.
It would be called Red, White, and Bluey.
Red, White, and Bluey, yeah.
Yes, of course.
Like, I don't think that's a great idea either.
There's this from Matt Walsh. He says, today we launched, I'm going to put this on the screen here. He says, today we launched our kids platform, which is already stocked with over 100 episodes of great family entertainment. This is why I'm proud to work at Daily Wire. We catch a lot of flack from both the left and the right. Everyone has their nitpicks and their complaints, but this company actually has a vision. We are trying to build something instead of complaining about the culture. We are actively trying to change it and shape it and taking the considerable risks that those efforts require. The critics will continue to chirp, and we will continue doing what none of them have the skill or wherewithal to do. There's nowhere else in media I'd want to work. It's not even a close call, to be honest. And I think that's awesome. Like I said, like I have my nitpicks about doing Snow White. But it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the amount of work and the amount of progress they've made as a company to do everything that they're doing. I think they're doing fantastic work. I just worry, like when we talked about, I don't remember who I was talking to. I was talking to George, but it's like when all the media is framed within the space of the culture war, even if making Snow White is not inherently supposed to be that because it's public domain, it's a different thing. It's still being marketed and advertised within the space of the culture war. This is different. It's a different company, different name. It's not going to be produced in the same way. Parents who are looking for something different that don't want, who are either apolitical, don't care, or don't have any position on the matter can show their kids something like this. And there could be people that end up finding it without even realizing that. Right? Like you find it without realizing
That's
that
the hope,
it's,
at least.
that they're not looking necessarily for an alternative, but hopefully at one point it grows to be so big that it doesn't just get found because it's an alternative. It gets found because everyone wants to see it, which would be great as well.
It's $99 annually. Do you think that that's reasonable?
For a year, yeah. That
Seems like
reasonable.
they've already built up like a good amount of content to justify a price like that.
We've also got this.
Matt Walsh was one of the voice actors.
He says, I made a cameo appearance in our new kids show, Chipchilla. I have one line, but it's enough that I can add celebrated voice actor to my resume. I love it here.
Detecting nothing of interest on this planet.
You got that right, Brontor. No way I will find anything valuable around here.
I shall defeat Captain Brontor, for he is weak, and I am less weak.
Punch, punch. What? Oh no.
The animation actually looks really good.
Yeah, it's cute.
On all of these things.
It's and I think it's a really good idea to do this for because I also saw earlier that like Xavier DeRusso had did a sketch show with a kid show. It seemed like all that.
PragerU is
PragerU
doing their own kids entertainment thing. I don't really know all the details about it, but
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea because one of the number one things that people complain about with all of this entertainment is that it's affecting the kids. But by the time you get to these shows that are for young adults, they've been indoctrinated several times over, long before you get to that point.
The issue is like all of the parents out there who care enough about what their children are exposed to in kids entertainment, like their kids are going to be fine. It's the kids of the parents who either don't know what's going on, don't care, or actively want to indoctrinate their kids that are in trouble. Like those kids are in trouble because, I mean, they're either mindlessly watching auto-played videos from Cocomelon on YouTube all day, or they're coming across the most sinister content imaginable on social media unsupervised, or they're watching some of these hyper politicized projects that are on Disney about white supremacy.
Why did they come for you to play Snow White?
I don't think I'm more offended that I wasn't chosen for Evil Queen.
Evil Queen.
To be totally honest,
Evil Queen makes a lot of sense.
I don't think Snow White makes sense for me. I've been an Evil Queen all my life, and I'm a little bit offended that I wasn't chosen.
John Stewart for $20 says, according to a Daily Wire article, so big grain of salt, Bent Key is now the #1 downloaded app.
Let me check on the App Store then.
Yeah.
On my phone.
It was like I want to see.
But I'm sure there's going to be this huge surge of people downloading it right now.
But also, a lot of people were saying that they were having, like, you're going to have bugs with stuff like this. But I really, really hope that this turns out well, because I want to see these companies succeed.
Hi.
It's and the animation looks really, really good for stuff like this. I would like to see them do more after they do content like this. And then, so then do they go into like something that's like a more of a Nickelodeon type thing after that? Like young
adult shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not where their focus is right now. Obviously,
it would be hard to do that, I think, too, because like if you're going to be it's going to be a company that's going to be associated with like the Daily Wire, you might have a harder time getting young actors who don't want to get, because like their agent's going to be like, if you work with this company, you're going to have trouble down the line getting roles.
Well, that's kind of the situation for the people who were in Hyperions or any of these other things that Daily Wire acquired later on. They had no idea that it was going to be on that streaming service that is hyper politicized. I'm sure it isn't great for any random working class actor's career to be associated with politics in that way. I'm looking at it right now, and I
showing up?
Don't see. It says it's #3 in entertainment right now.
Awesome. I mean, even that's what it is. That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're doing great work.
I don't see overall, but yeah, it's a pretty good rating.
The animation looks good to me. I think it looks good.
Yeah, like if it weren't up to snuff, I would call that out. If,
Also,
if the quality weren't there, I would say so.
Like there was comments that were saying like the animation needs to be better. I'm like, do kids notice that stuff at that age?
Well, kids don't notice, but I mean, it still matters, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it could be South Park level animation, and that wouldn't be good.
I would like that. They see that's when we'll really know, when the Daily Wire gets into like adult animation.
But like right now, you don't need new kids shows anyway. If you're showing your kids the old stuff, it doesn't matter, right? If you're showing your kids like Aristocats and Cinderella and stuff like that, like you're fine. There's nothing insidious about that. So why do we need all the new things? That's what I would think. Just in terms of like spending money, I guess it's better to give your money to a company that doesn't hate you.
Well, that's
as the tagline goes.
I know. I never fall into that category.
Show them VHS
like
tapes.
even if they do hate me, I know I'm the bad guy here, but I'm like, it never ended up bothering me, because these are massive multinational corporations that if I don't think they hate me, I think they don't think of me. I think that I'm a rounding error to them, and that's not hatred, that's just indifference. But I don't expect corporations to have strong feelings about me one way or the other, I guess. So.
But I guess if you're thinking about it like, should we keep our Disney Plus subscription or subscribe to this new thing? Subscribing to the new thing that has a good mission behind it.
Bang Bang Lulu in the chat says $99. Nah, just throw a Bible at them and tell them to figure it out.
Throw them outside.
There you go. There you go. If you were so if not the Evil Queen, what character do you think you would be best suited for from a fairy tale?
From a fairy tale, like any
from any fairy tale.
I wasn't exposed to these things as a child. I don't know. I didn't watch any of the Disney princesses.
So we're gonna get
period. I did not watch them.
We'll see if we can get you on for the Evil Queen.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll make an acting demo reel for you and have you submit it to Jeremy Boring. He's been on IRL. Tim can put in a good word.
Sure.
There you go. All right, let's go to Super Chats. We got a couple there.
Urashima Otaru said, "Psychic to decide your politics. Repeal the 19th."
A psychic. He's saying like a psychic. Like
psychic. Going to a psychic is definitely a female trait. because women love finding out secrets about other people and being nosy.
Yeah, you wouldn't like. I don't know of any guy that would ever like be the one to suggest. Like you get guys get dragged along to the psychic.
I hope it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah,
but.
like if that happens.
Shane H. Wilder said psychics are demonic and so is feminism based.
There you go.
Isaac Martinez said
Yep.
Brett Cooper as Snow White better than Rachel Zegler.
There you go.
Well, I mean, you could put a potato in a Snow White costume and that would be better than Rachel Zegler.
In the chat, Abigail says Daily Wire's Barbie starring Mary. How about that?
That'd be scary.
It's you as Barbie.
We don't need a Daily Wire Barbie. We really don't.
Well, what if they could get the rights to an American Doll movie?
You mean American Girl?
Doll, yeah.
I don't know how all that works, but I wouldn't want to be associated with American Girl anymore because they went woke.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Shane H. Wilder.
Let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact.
All right.
All right, let's go ahead. Tell us what's going on with Britney Spears.
Okay, a lot of stuff is coming out about Britney Spears' new memoir. It's called The Woman in Me, which is kind of a corny title. And one thing that she has dropped is this huge bombshell about her relationship with Justin Timberlake in the 2000s. They apparently had a pregnancy happen in late 2000, and Britney wanted to keep the baby. This is a very sad story. Justin Timberlake discouraged her, and sounds like they agreed eventually to get an abortion. And Justin Timberlake, it's already been reported he's very curious and concerned about the information she's going to reveal from their relationship in this memoir. And it's already making him look like he's the bad guy. Regardless of whether that's fair, if this story is true, like, this is behavior that does deserve to be shamed in society. I don't think anyone should be excused of pressuring someone into getting an abortion. Now, obviously, it's her choice. She made the choice, and that's for her to live with. As an adult, she did this of her own volition. But I don't know, there are a lot of situations like this. And I know this from volunteering at a pregnancy clinic and knowing about all of the details of all of these cases. There were women coming in who did not want to get abortions that were saying, like, my husband or my boyfriend or whoever the father is telling me that I should and that he's not going to support me.
Yeah.
And that's obviously something that factors into their decisions, and there's no safeguard against, women getting coerced abortions. Like, everyone is scaremongering about women getting coerced into having the kid, but nothing is spoken of for the women who are coerced into getting them. Like, of course, that would hurt the business model of Planned Parenthood, but, like, that's why they aren't going to protect women against that.
And she did say that her family discouraged abortion, but I don't know if I buy that.
That's not true, actually, because her parents reportedly were encouraging Jamie Lynn to get an abortion when she got pregnant as a teenager.
Yeah, this is an old BuzzFeed article. It says Jamie Lynn Spears claims her parents pushed her to have an abortion when she got pregnant at 16 and tossed insults at her when she decided against adoption before putting her into hiding.
Yeah. So these are the type of parents that she grew up with. No surprise that she made a decision like this. Here is her quote from her memoir about this situation. "It was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would be much earlier than I had anticipated. But Justin definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy. He said we weren't ready to have a baby in our lives and that we were way too young. For context, they were both 19 at the time that this happened. But what I say is if you're too young to have kids, you're too young to have sex. So deal with the consequences of your actions, basically. And the fact that it sounds like she was very positive about the pregnancy at first and that he basically convinced her that this was a terrible thing. Mm-hmm. This is horrible news. This is life-ending stuff that scared her into making the decision to get an abortion. Like, that's what makes me think he is in the wrong here.
There's a $20 one here from the Manic Mustache. Says Brett Cooper comes in PCC to promote her new movie. Brett D. Bruh, your last name is too long. Twas. He asks her out on a date and they live happily ever after. Why do I have to have all the good ideas? Look, this is not a Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift situation. Brett Cooper.
There is a better option though.
What is the better option?
Brett Dasovic as Snow White.
Perfect. Let's like what that's what it is. Like we're gonna trick her into coming on so that I can see if I can get cast as Snow White instead.
Or the sequel, maybe.
I'm like,
could you get the sequel?
I'm like, look, you're busy. You've got this other TV show you're making. You got a lot of stuff going on. The comment section is popping off. I'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a $20 one here from Derp Space 9. Says women just like blaming someone else. Shouldn't be a shock when they pawn responsibility for an abortion on others. Saying my husband won't support me is just saying I love money or my lifestyle more than the child. Thoughts?
I think that's definitely not true, at least in this case, from what it sounds like. When men pressure women into getting an abortion, like that's obviously incredibly evil and should never happen. Like Brittany is reporting here that she felt positive about the news and that he did not support her decision to keep the baby.
She could have just had the baby anyways.
Yes, she could have, and that's what I said before.
There was a
like
post
I said
here.
that this is her decision that she has to live with. She shouldn't blame anyone else for it.
But she is, and now he's going to get all the blame.
He should be blamed for what he did. She should be blamed for what she did.
The irony being in like he's going to take this blame from an industry that's super pro-abortion.
I don't think anyone is. I think people are conflicted about how to react to this news because we're supposed to celebrate abortion in all cases, all contexts, through all 9 months of pregnancy. Like that's the party platform of Hollywood. So people are conflicted about how to react to this. So they're like, the guy is the bad guy because he's male, but also like abortion is a good thing and should be celebrated and shout your abortion. So she shouldn't be sad about it and she should actually be proud of it. But also he was kind of being misogynistic by like pressuring her into doing that. Like they don't, this is like where
they wouldn't
woke
have
ideology kind of collapses.
They wouldn't give a crap if she wanted the abortion and he wanted to keep the kid.
No, of course, but that would be, again, evil.
This was a tweet from someone named Ellen Carmichael. I saw this because somebody else reposted. It says, abortion hurts so many women. I'm glad Britney Spears is using her voice to share that painful reality, and shame on men who force women into this kind of decision. Well, he's not forcing her. He's strongly pressuring her, but I get her point. Matt Walsh had some thoughts on it. He said, yes, how could she? A multimillionaire possibly have he says she could have possibly cared for the baby on her own.
Yes, she could have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I already said that though. Like, what's the gotcha moment there?
No, I'm just giving you two sides of the perspective. He says this.
I think that it might feel better for her to think that it was somebody else's fault that this happened because it's incredibly traumatic to go through having an abortion, and should not like it's traumatic because this is murder, and to make sense of that in your head and make peace with the fact that you made that decision, you might have to cope and put the blame on somebody else or put the blame on circumstances or the culture or something like that. But yeah, she made an adult decision and she's going to have to live with the consequences. Yeah. And the part of it that was her fault is her fault. The part of it that was his fault is definitely his fault. And he did something that was disgusting. I guess the sad thing is just how common this is in Hollywood, right? For both sides of the equation, not just for his behavior, interesting because but think of in an age where abortion is so celebrated. Exactly. There are a lot of female celebrities that actually never publicize the fact that they got abortions because of the obvious fact that this is traumatizing, shameful, and painful to bring up. Who did we talk about recently that talked about having the girl from Ghostbusters 2016? Thank you. Thank you. 3 abortions at the age of Leslie Jones. Leslie Jones said that. Who said that Stevie Nicks famously credits her abortion for the success of Fleetwood Mac. Like, I don't know. Fleetwood Mac is all right, but I feel like everyone would be just fine if you ended up having your kid and not writing those songs. Yep. I think the world would be A-okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about any of this. I think that it's sad that both parties end up being at fault for the mistakes they make, and the child suffers.
Yeah. Do you think that it's wrong of Britney to reveal this information when it involves Justin Timberlake?
I mean, everybody's got a right to tell their stories, and it's his behavior that he did. I mean, maybe she would have wanted to talk to him beforehand and see if they could work this out.
I don't think they're on speaking
But you know what I'm saying, right? Like maybe if she reached out and was like, look, can we talk through this? There's still unresolved issues here. For stuff like that. But it would go against the nature of Hollywood, which is to take all of your trauma and turn it into a memoir down the line. After you've done all the things in your life that you're going to regret, you then turn it into a book that you can make some money on.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's got a defense to it. It's still his behavior. As long as if he's not denying it, he's not saying this isn't true. If she was lying, that'd be one thing, but she's not lying. She's telling.
I don't think she would have any reason to lie
exactly.
here.
So it's like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I would wonder about sharing that type of personal decision personally. Like if I had some super personal choice that got made and something like that. But you know, everybody's different, and I can't blame her for wanting to tell her story. And if it's his actions, he's going to have to live with the consequences of them. But I just find it interesting the way that the media is portraying it as evil when the media celebrates abortion on a regular basis.
Right.
Isn't he just parroting the line that they tell all the women to do anyways? Isn't everything that he's saying to her exactly what the media tells you to do now? But then he's framed as doing this to her.
Well, he's saying it in a way that's self-interested, right?
The media is self-interested. The media has no problem supporting this stuff, right? So I don't know. Like it's just
he's not making an ideological stance.
No, he's making a I need to have a further career stance. So he could have. I guess who knows? Maybe he wouldn't have had.
It's bizarre because they're both rich and famous at this point. They're both at their peak at the point that this happened.
Yeah.
So they would have had no problems.
Yep.
Having a kid. In fact, it would probably help their careers.
And I imagine he'll make a response eventually, but I don't know what he would say. I don't know if there's actually
nothing to say.
I don't know if there's actually like a benefit to actually responding for him.
What's more interesting is the stuff that she wrote about her conservatorship here. I find it shocking that Taylor Swift is on a tour right now that's going to make her $4 billion or more. And in 4 years of Britney performing at a Las Vegas residency, she only made $138 million.
Yeah.
And that's why her net worth is like $60 million right now, because she was cheated out of tons of her money.
But if Britney Spears was in like was in better shape mentally and was in charge of her own career when she was at the height of her fame, she could probably have done something similar.
I guess so.
So
this was her point. Think of how many, this is her, she says this about male artists. Think of how many male artists gambled all their money away. How many had substance abuse or mental health issues. No one tried to take away their control over their bodies and money. I didn't deserve what my family did to me. So she's in a way implying that this happened to her because she's female.
I guess.
I mean, there's not really a way to compare it to anyone else.
Yeah.
So she's truly a unique case.
And the media did a number on her too, not just her family.
There are tons of female artists that are free to destroy their own careers these days. So
yeah,
I think she might have ended up on a much better path had she not been in the conservatorship.
I imagine that when this book comes out, there's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to be revealed because it comes out the 24th, right? So,
she also revealed that she was up against Rachel McAdams to play, what was her name in The Notebook?
Oh, I don't know the character's name.
Whatever her name was,
Yeah.
the heiress girl. She said, the Notebook casting came down to me and Rachel McAdams, even though it would have been fun to reconnect with Ryan Gosling after Mickey Mouse Club. I'm glad I didn't do it. If I had, instead of working on my album, I'd have been acting like a 1940s heiress day and night.
She'd love that.
She also talked about method acting in Crossroads.
I wonder if she took acting classes, right? She did, I guess because of Mickey Mouse Club, maybe she did. Maybe she's
kind of a natural, maybe?
She's like Meisner technique. I love acting. I want her to get, what if she has like a renaissance as an actor, not as a singer? That'd be cool.
Is she going to have a renaissance? Is that in the cards for her?
Perhaps at some point she will. I would like that. I would like her to like get control of all of her faculties, stop taking weird dancing videos, and go and do something with her life again. She doesn't have to. I'm not saying that she needs to. I'm saying it would be cool to see her have like a successful second act to her career. It'd be like a third act to her career. That'd be cool. And plus, it would like, I actually do believe that it would probably help to be busy. Like actually busy.
You don't know. Maybe she's really, really busy making her dancing videos.
Perhaps.
She's booked and busy constantly. Her schedule is just packed with more dance videos to make.
And so how long after like this with Justin Timberlake did she have her sons?
In 2006.
So about 5 years later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this kid with Justin Timberlake would have been 22 by now.
It's just sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's just really sad to see like the way that Hollywood like and it was just so unthought. Like at the time, it's just that like if you had told me the story back at this time, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. It just would have been completely normal for this conversation to happen and for these types of things to be done, and it shouldn't have been normalized.
If this story had come out at the time?
Yeah, like it would have been flippant and it would have just passed through the news cycle.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Sad. All right, let's go to Super Chats. Let's do a couple there.
Shin H. Wilder said, so Storm blessed the rains down in Africa?
Yeah, she did. Well, she didn't technically get a chance to in the movie, but yeah, she would have. That's what she would have done.
Please show yourself out after that.
You don't need to show yourself out.
If the Daily Wire was smart, they'd be begging Dylan Hornswoggle to be a part of their Snow White project since he called out Disney with Piers Morgan. Well, you don't know. They might have already.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get Warwick Davis because Disney crossed him.
Get all of them. Yeah.
You can't get Peter Dinklage because he's not a nice person.
No.
And he's offended by the fact that you think he should play a dwarf.
Yep.
That's funny. Shane H. Wilder said, you guys are more than just YouTubers. You actually have common sense.
That's debatable for me, but
yeah,
thank you.
I'm not so sure. I'm not sure we do.
I'm not actually 110% sure that's accurate for me, but I appreciate that. Let's do one more.
Alexander Shibilski said the funniest thing is Bent Key will release first. I'm not sure because the Disney Snow White is supposed to come out in March. They're talking about moving the date back more.
It could be, I mean, because of the strike. I
mean, we'll see. I thought that the strike was going to end in the coming days, and it still isn't happening.
Yeah. Let's hold.
I know they had to put it on hold for both COVID and the strikes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're saying that it's still supposed to come out in March.
Somebody else
is that doable?
Somebody else in the chat said that I would be a good dwarf for the movie. That's not in it.
I mean, they would have to do some deceptive angles.
I'm pretty short, so it's not an inaccurate term.
And I think that Brett Cooper is tall, right? So that would be pretty easy.
5'9" or 5'10" or something like that.
Yeah.
So. Perfect.
Yeah, that would work.
Perfect. All right, let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after that. What's going on with Kevin Spacey?
A theater in London has officially canceled a premiere of a movie called Control that Kevin Spacey happens to be in. He is not the star, and he actually doesn't even appear on screen, in fact. He just is heard in phone calls. He's, I guess, the voice of a self-driving car in the movie.
Well, he's a person who's controlling the self-driving car.
Or a person who is controlling the self-driving car, and you can hear his voice through a phone call. And over this alone, they decided they had to back down to the mob. Here is their quote. "We have an issue. It is with my apologies that I have to inform you. We have canceled your hire with us. Last night, it came to our attention that your film features Kevin Spacey. In particular, his first film since the court case. The court case, by the way, in which he was acquitted of his charges. And my staff, as well as I, are horrified that we are being mentioned in the same breath as his new film for the premiere."
Wait, is the idea that if it was the second film since his court case, they'd have been
then it would have been a total different story.
We just don't want to break, like, we don't want to be the virgins in this situation. We don't want to, just gently, please, gently.
You couldn't soft launch more than not having him appear on screen.
Yes, that's the best you could do, right?
And actually, from the trailer, the movie looks kind of interesting.
Let's watch.
It came out like a few months ago.
We can watch the trailer here. I don't know if he's going to get like the reception he thinks he's going to get back in the States, but we'll have
People
to
forget things very quickly.
The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Mr. David Adams.
Today, people around the country rely on information of intelligent automation. Home Secretary, how was it?
Not a bad speech, David.
Daddy, I'm tired. I just want to go home.
I'll take her home, if you like. It's on my way, and I'm sure Sarah won't mind.
The car's fully tracked, so we will know where they are at all times.
I wonder if it's going to be like a Tesla by name, or it's just going to be generic car. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello?
Stella, you need to listen to me very carefully. As you may have noticed, your car is not as responsive as it should be. Because now, I'm driving it.
It's very corny line.
Who's this?
Oh, I know everything
He
about
should have
you,
kept
Stella.
his British
Frank
accent.
Underwood.
Much more than you think. Which is why we're having this little chat.
I really thought he would do his House of Cards accent for this.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a British
Do you
voice.
need me to demonstrate further? Oh yeah, you can try, but the steering motor is controlled by me, as is the accelerator.
In the chat, Derp Space 9 says, "Woman driver, people are in danger."
The brakes, the door locks, the lights, and even the interior camera. Confession is good for the soul? I think your soul could really do with that.
Wait, stop!
It's all a game, Stella. You know that. Like the games you play in Parliament every day with the lives of the people of this country.
So it's like a political thriller?
I am your
guess.
judge and jury, and I find you guilty. Games you play with people's lives.
The text doesn't match the film type at all. No, like it feels very indie budget.
Looks cheap as hell.
Looks
the
cheap.
film.
Yeah, and
But you do what you gotta do when you are slowly inching your way back into the entertainment industry after you were canceled. His co-star defended him, saying Kevin Spacey has been proven to be innocent, and who are they to say otherwise? He has done nothing wrong, and his director also said that he doesn't regret casting Kevin Spacey and would do it all over again after he got his acquittal. And they just went and found another theater that didn't care.
yeah.
Because
And I think that's the number one
way
thing-
that the free market works, I guess.
That's what we're gonna end up seeing. It's what we saw with all of the premieres when he did the stuff at Cannes, at the film festivals. Is like if you stick around long enough, you're gonna find people willing to work with you, and I don't think he's gonna have any trouble. And it's not like Hollywood has any moral ground to stand on, anyways. That's why it's always funny when they virtue signal.
No,
because they're all. It's an industry full of scumbags, anyways. Mm-hmm. And the movie
he
doesn't.
has plenty of friends. Like
Hey,
that's-
Elton John. Him and Elton John did the thing recently where they were at like a dinner together, and then Elton John was
even just
performing.
being seen out with other important people in the entertainment industry is a rehabilitation for his image.
Yeah.
And all of these people are scumbags anyway, so even if he got wrongfully acquitted, it's not like it matters to them whether he's guilty or innocent. Like, if you're friends with the right people in Hollywood, they don't care if you're a creep and a predator. You know, to them, that's just normal. That's part of their culture.
Yeah. The only difference is he got caught, or he got theoretically
It's like
caught,
joke's on you for getting caught.
And then
you know?
and they didn't prove it in a court of law. Also, they said he was found innocent. Technically, you were found not guilty. You weren't found innocent. But I get what they're saying.
Sure, whatever.
In the statement. But yeah, it's
I mean,
kind of like the movie Phone Booth.
There's a lot of I liked Phone Booth.
It's
but
kind of like Phone Booth.
There's a lot of insight in like the fact that well, I don't know how to say this. The fact that he apologized for doing something that he's supposedly innocent of doing.
Yeah.
Right?
And
like
he
that's
did,
a little that's kind of a damning comment.
Kevin, and he got a standing ovation at Oxford University.
I swear, Oxford is just inviting literally anyone.
It's like him and Mia Khalifa will do like a joint lecture next time.
Yeah. What are they going to do? A cheer routine?
And Douglas Murray gave him the introduction here.
Yeah, he did this speech where he emphasized the importance of defending your friends when they're in the right, I guess not when they're in the wrong, to show them how much you care about them. And I think that's very clearly referencing what happened to Kevin Spacey or what happens to people who get canceled. And he said what we don't realize about living in this era of cancellation and defenestration is that we can't keep going on like this.
It's a weird place to put
defenestration.
The word defenestration.
Is that a big part of our culture?
I
Throwing
guess.
people out of windows?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he allowed Kevin Spacey to take the stage and do some kind of Shakespearean soliloquy about cancel culture, which I found kind of cringy.
Dustin the Wind says Douglas Murray is crazy. I don't remember him being crazy, but is he crazy now?
He didn't seem crazy.
He always seemed like kind of generically anti-cancel culture intellectual to me back in the day, but that was like several years ago. I haven't watched him.
Well, it says he's a free speech advocate.
Yeah.
Here.
I don't know. I think that with these movies, it's going to be a lot of time. It's going to be a long time before he ends up getting the market. I think he'll do fine overseas. I think his movies will end up being made for foreign release, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe he should team up with Russell Brand.
I
haven't heard anything about Russell Brand by the way.
Yeah, like what is going on with Russell Brand right now?
Are there any updates? Like,
no.
Are there? I don't know. I don't know why I would expect there to be any updates, given that this wasn't a lawsuit and it's not going to go to criminal trial, it looks like.
It does say that Spacey still faces 12 sex offense charges in the UK relating to alleged events between 2001 and 2013. He's pled not guilty to all of them.
Is he waiting for trial?
The bigger question is, he was rushed to the hospital at a film festival recently. Like with heart palpitation, like something happened, numbness in his arm, which is classic heart attack.
Okay.
Right? So, maybe if the bad deeds are real, they are in fact catching up with him.
Suddenly.
Very suddenly.
Quite suddenly.
But also, the other thing that somebody was pointing out was
what's going on over there?
That was pointing out was a lot of the people that accused him seemed to die suddenly. That was something that was happening for a long time.
Yeah. A lot of malfunctioning brakes. And if you're someone in the media, if you're a journalist covering this and you don't fall in line, you might worry what Kevin Spacey is going to do to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know.
So perhaps that's why he's getting treated so well.
Do you think he ever makes it a big mainstream return to the industry?
Nobody remembers anything about
I feel like
Kevin
they
Spacey.
remember him.
Do they?
I feel like they remember. I think that's different. I think
really?
I think his name is stained. I think his name is looked at in the same way that Harvey Weinstein is in a lot of cases.
Well, the difference is Harvey Weinstein is in prison.
I think they're spoken
Kevin
of in the
Spacey
same. I think they're spoken of in the same breath.
Yeah, I guess it came.
Those
allegations came out at the same time, roughly.
I was shocked
Right?
at how neutral some of the reports were.
Which makes you think that he has a legal team assuring that the media is gonna talk about him in a balanced way.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked at how neutral some of the reporting on this whole incident was.
But what are you supposed to say? The jury was wrong?
I mean, since when has Hollywood ever care? Or since when has the media ever cared about saying that? The media has no problem slinging mud if they think that if they think you're guilty. So I'm surprised they didn't hear, considering he is usually spoken of in that same way.
Yeah,
because he is, the way that Weinstein is. So it's weird to me because it is always weird. What would they have been that neutral with the Russell Brand headline? If Russell Brand was invited to give a speech at Oxford Union, would they have released such a neutral take?
It's too fresh.
Too new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Also, I mean, the fact that wasn't a lawsuit, that was just a bunch of women going on the record with journalists.
Yeah.
And it's not. What is this?
It's broken. You're like a malfunctioning crisis meter.
This
today.
has happened before,
Is Shane
right?
Cashman here? Causing something to break?
Scared.
Just gonna keep going? I have no idea. I can check with it. What's going on?
Wait, I kind of want to wait and see how long it goes.
How long will it go?
I'm too curious. It sounds like a damn lawnmower. Did it stop on its own or did you stop
I stopped it.
Damn it! I wanted you to let it just go.
Somebody can try and break it again.
I guess.
Then they would have gotten crisis parties for the...
I don't think mine's working.
Then they would have gotten crisis parties for free. Somebody will have to send another super chat in if they want to check to see if yours is working now.
It'll like explode.
Yeah. Negative YouTube says Kevin Spacey is controlling your money guns. I don't want Kevin Spacey in control of any firearms of any sort near me. That is for sure.
He's controlling our smart home devices.
I do not want to know that. So it could be paranormal. It could be Kevin Spacey. Who knows? I know I don't want Kevin Spacey in charge of any money guns when we're trying to talk about him and things he might or might not have done that may have risen to the level of criminal nature.
Has there already been a movie of in the same vein as Control about someone's smart home getting controlled?
Oh, that's a good question. Chat,
if it doesn't exist yet, it should.
Chat, does anybody... I feel like that has happened. Chat, does anybody know, has there been a movie similar to Phone Booth or like this movie that has to do with the house?
Yeah.
Somebody let us know in the chat. I feel like it does, but my brain is just kind of dead today. So it's not really working.
Yeah.
But let us know. We'll have to see. There's yours work there.
Yeah.
That was good. All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Dat Pie over there said, okay, hear me out. Logan Paul and Bad Bunny are already WWE stars. Bad Bunny's last match in May being a banger. What if we had a Brett Cooper versus Rachel Zegler match for WrestleMania? Who would win?
Okay, I don't hate the idea that there are.
They obviously wouldn't do that though.
Like I would love like conservative pro wrestling. Like there are, like I know from what I understand, Val Venus, the former Val Venus, is like a big libertarian. Obviously, Kane. Glenn Jacobs is the mayor of what is that in Tennessee? Somebody else will know. He's the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Or something, right? So like I love the idea of getting all the conservatives and the libertarian like wrestlers to get together. I'm sure there are more than a couple. Brett Cooper would win though, because Brett Cooper's like taller than Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, Rachel Zegler doesn't really have much meat on her bones.
She's got the height and the reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, between Bent Key and the cartoons that are coming out from Angel Studios, I think there's plenty of quality children's entertainment alternatives.
Yeah, and then the big thing there is like it's on the parents, right? The number one thing that I always point out when it's these situations is that the parent... I have to like disconnect mine. It's broken today.
Okay.
Is that the parents really are going to have to be responsible for what their kids are taking in, right? I don't think you're ever going to completely destroy the behemoth that is Disney. I don't think you're ever going to destroy the behemoth that is Hollywood. I think you create reasonable, well-made alternatives that align with your values, and then you take it on yourself to not allow your kids to watch or participate in things that go against your values, and that's how you win.
Yeah. The only thing that can destroy Disney is Disney itself, and that will happen in due time.
Perhaps. I wonder if Disney is too big to fail.
This name is hard to pronounce. I don't know. Skobersh? Kylenkov? No idea. You could animate Aesop's Fables and they'd call it right wing when it merely teaches about life.
Mine is like got a mind of its own today. I'm not a fan.
It's kind of scaring me.
I'm not a fan here, guys.
Possessed by
now they're like sending like $2 chats to make it break. You guys like breaking it on purpose for me. Not fair, guys. It's gonna keep happening too, so I'm not gonna do that. Do one
Shane
more.
H.
And then
Wilder.
Or no, what was the last one? I'm sorry, I was so distracted with this, I didn't hear the last one.
They could animate Aesop's Fables, and they'd call it right wing when it merely teaches about life.
Or like, I mean, isn't that what they say about Atlas Shrugged too? Like, because it's Ayn Rand.
I mean, yeah, she is a political philosopher though. Shane H. Wilder said, "Sorry for the corny joke, Mary. Do you expect anything else? I'll get my coat and see myself out." LOL. Yeah, you better. Perturbed Alpaca.
Read one more and then we'll move on.
Perturbed Alpaca said, Kit from Knight Rider sounds very different.
I loved Knight Rider growing up. It was great. I never had the heart to watch I've kind of gone off before about how I love a lot of the like the TV shows that get made in the movies that have been made into TV shows. Like I love the Limitless TV show. I loved Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I never had the heart to watch the to watch the really bad. Apparently, they made like a really bad, like modern Knight Rider TV show based on the TV show from the 80s or whatever. And I never had the heart to watch the modern version because it's just, I love the old TV show so much. Just like I'm never going to watch the new Walker, Texas Ranger. Just no.
That's how it is for any reboot.
Yep. All right, let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. Tell us about Millie Bobby Brown because she's a feminist now.
I assumed she always had been a feminist, but she needed confirmation.
People like getting married at 19 might have made people question whether she was a feminist.
Well, she was questioning her own feminism and she needed to have confirmation that she was a feminist. So Millie Bobby Brown decided to go to a psychic, and this psychic was the person who gave her her feminist awakening. This interview with Glamour confirms this, saying she credits her feminist awakening to a visit to a psychic who informed her that she was in fact a feminist. Millie went home and Googled, "How do I know if I'm a feminist?" After reading articles and books, she, quote, really grasped the idea of what feminism is and what it means to me. Ultimately, it's about opportunity. And this is the backstory. And a lot of the responses are saying, like, if I was famous, I would just use my fame to say stupid shit like this. The English language was created so that one day this sentence could be formed. Yeah, not a good idea to let psychics tell you what your politics are.
Probably not the greatest idea in history, but you shouldn't be letting psychics or stars,
bad idea to go to psychics in the first place, but like
teaching you anything.
Yeah, but especially they should not decide your political leanings for you. That's a horrible idea. She's also talked about the ending of Stranger Things, which is
she's very excited about.
What a relief for everyone. Like, I've been waiting for this damn show to end. It started in the Obama administration. There is no reason, a lot of people were saying this, there is no reason why a show should take over a decade to make like 35 episodes. Yeah. That is not normal. That's insane. And I know that they made the episodes very expensive, very CGI heavy, and they started to get to the like hour and a half movie length, which on its own is ridiculous. That doesn't need to happen at all.
Yeah.
But still, you spent over a decade, and it's still not over, to make less than 50 episodes of a series that wasn't well liked after like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And they are about to start filming the 5th season after this SAG strike is over, which who knows when that will happen. And understandably, all of the stars who grew up on this show are like so fucking ready to like not do this show anymore because it's all they're known for.
I don't remember who it was. Well, I don't think Finn Wolfhard is solely thought of as like a. I feel like he's
probably, other than Millie Bobby Brown, the most famous from the show.
I remember. I don't remember who the singer was, but I remember some singer talking about how he never understood why like big artists would hate performing the songs that made them famous, right? He's like, I don't get that. It's like, this is what paid my bills. Why would I be upset by something like that? And I always found that to be really appreciative. Like, I don't like it when an actor is like, oh, I'm so happy to be done with this show that made me rich and famous. Like, it just feels like there's a lack of gratitude.
You're complaining about being too famous. Like, that's not relatable to anyone.
I get the idea from an artistic perspective, right? Like he's done with it because as an artist, he feels like it's gone as far as it can go. But it's kind of like us complaining, like we've done sometimes, right? Like when you complain about your job here, like even if there are things that are difficult about your job, the person consuming the media just isn't going to want to hear about it. They don't care. Like they want the content. And they are not wrong for that. They're not wrong for not caring about the struggles of your job.
I think it's more poignant for them just because this was their entire childhood.
Yeah.
Like their identity has been completely wrapped up in this show, and it's really all they're known for, at least as it is now. And she was talking about how the media treated her when she was a kid doing press for this show. And she got criticized for trying to steal the thunder of her co-stars in interviews. She says that adults in the media called her an idiot and a brat.
What? Why?
I don't remember this happening at all.
Neither do I.
But maybe I wasn't paying as much attention. Quote, we're kids. We talk over each other. I was just penalized for over-talking and oversharing and being too loud. It's hard to hear that at 13. You're like, I don't want to ever talk again. So I just remembered to stay silent and speak when I was spoken to. Even though I was dying to join in, I just felt like it wasn't my turn. So it must be hard to like be a kid, like be 13 years old and have people in the media overanalyzing all of your on-camera behavior, and they see you as your character from this show.
People get mad at us because we talk over each other from time to time.
But we don't even notice it.
No.
That's the thing.
It's just part of the, like when your job is literally to talk, there's an aspect of it where it's like you just got to reach for it and go. Like you don't really like, and nor does, I don't think that anybody here ever takes offense when somebody does it, because you understand that that's just the name of the game with what's going on. Like if anything, like most of the time, I'm just really excited that somebody else has like a lot to say. So I'm like, yes, talk over, like go for it. Like, hell yeah. Like that doesn't bother me one bit. Like, yeah, like, and to be that age, like, as an adult, I think it's very hard for them to put themselves in the shoes of a kid who hasn't grown up and actually matured to the level of an adult yet. They expect a lot out of them.
The problem is that, like the Harry Potter child stars, I think that they were told they're way more important than they are. And they were told that they had an obligation to use their platforms for good.
An obligation.
Yeah. And that's what led to Emma Watson being a raging feminist harpy, despite her talent, despite her good looks. I mean, it's true. She was kind of conditioned to become one of these Hollywood activists.
Yeah.
And it seems like Millie Bobby Brown has gone down the same route.
There's a lot of guilt put on them from a very young, but that's baked into the Hollywood business model, right? To be a champagne socialist who's every day told you're like, and I think some of it also might be like, there's a lot of ego in acting, and there's also a lot of insecurity, and there's no easier person to manipulate than somebody who's both simultaneously egotistical and unsure of themselves. So part of it might be why they elevate the nature of what they do to such a high level, because they don't actually buy that when they're like, oh my God, the art that I make, it's the end all be all. I'm speaking truth to power and sharing my art with the world. I'm like, bro, like it's not that deep, right? Like the biggest compliment that I believe that you can get doing what we do here is somebody saying that they allow us to like take up their time while they're at work. Like listening to us while you're at work, to me, that's a huge compliment, because it's something you do. It helps you pass the time. But that doesn't make what we do like the end all be all most important thing in the world. That's ridiculous. And it's the same for the movies and television that they create. The idea that you get to pretend like what you do is changing the world while also advocating for weird socialist policies is hilarious.
Well, when I watch current year Stranger Things, what puts me off about it is that there is less effort put into the storytelling than there was at the beginning, and they're relying more on that, I don't know, that vibe that what they're creating is so important and so groundbreaking and so grandiose. And
they also have nobody to tell them otherwise.
I know, yeah, because they are the darling of Netflix that has been making Netflix a lot of its money for the past decade. So props to them, like the credit that they deserve for that. But the show hasn't been interesting for years now. And everyone is beyond ready for it to be over, and yet they're still like clinging on and trying to make another season that nobody wants to watch.
Yeah.
It's probably lost 90% of its original audience at this point, which is still bigger than most Netflix original shows get in the first place. But yeah, like it's just dead. It's dead in the water. You're kicking it while it's down. It's not about the story anymore anyway. They started adding new peripheral characters that no one cares about.
So they can make all the spin-offs that they'll end up making.
Yes, and they're going to make spin-offs. They're going to try to turn it into a movie. And you can't do that because the original cast isn't interested in it anymore. So you're going to have to recast the whole thing with people that, you know, are complete newbies. Nobody's heard of them.
Yeah.
And you're going to wonder why no one's watching. Like, I'm just so tired of Hollywood half-assing everything and wondering why the results aren't the same as the original.
I think part of it is also like they're not willing to take all the losses that come. Like, look at The Creator. I sung the praises of The Creator. A lot of people liked it. Some people didn't like it. But at the end of the day, it went out with a whimper, not a bang, because nobody was willing to go.
Did it lose money?
It lost money. Oh yeah. It lost money. But it was, I liked it. I had a great time with it, but they're just not willing to take that risk.
Whether a movie makes a profit or not is not always the metric of how good it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't watch it
but to them, like, I don't have a problem with Hollywood saying the only metric that matters is making money, because at the end of the day, it's a business, and I get more annoyed by the artists pretending like their art is the most important part of a business, when at the end of the day, the business needs to make money first. The business always wants to always believes that making more money is important. The artists always think the art is more important, but really, it's a marriage of the two that ends somewhere closer to the middle, where great art should theoretically make you a great profit, but both sides, vie for control. And I just tend to, more often than not, eschew the actors, because I'm like, look, they're not the ones putting the money into it. They're not the ones taking the risk.
To pull this back to Millie Bobby Brown's interview, another thing that she said is she's not always been awarded the same respect and recognition on Hollywood sets compared to her male co-stars, and that a lot of male co-stars of her that will go unnamed,
of course,
didn't treat her so well. And when she was asked, which ones have, she sung the praises of Chris Pratt, who, news to me, he's not a bad misogynist.
So he's just monster. He's just good guy Greg. That's what he is.
He's a good guy Greg. And then she was asked, well, have your other male co-stars in the past treated you with the same level of respect? And she pauses and she says, some of them have definitely treated me with the same respect, period. And leaving all of these people on social media to start a frenzy, wondering who wronged Millie Bobby Brown.
Was it Noah Schnapp? Did he disown her?
Who was the misogynist on the set of Stranger Things? Like, that's what you're leaving people to speculate about. I just find that really...
Ooh, I like this comment. Says she should cry to Drake more about it.
Yeah, go call Drake. You probably like him more than your fiance anyways.
I don't...
Oh, yeah, she also praised her fiance for being the person who allowed her to fall in love with herself. So
it's like the most narcissistic thing. Wait, what was the Britney Spears quote earlier about Justin Timberlake? Like,
what do you
wasn't
mean?
there some Britney, like, or was that quote was about Millie Bobby Brown, not about Britney Spears? That she fell in love with herself.
Yes, that was it.
It's just so narcissistic.
He encouraged me to be loud and obnoxious. Encouraged me to not have any criticisms of myself or my personality.
Well, that would be crazy to criticize a modern woman.
No.
Mary, you can't criticize a modern woman. Everybody knows that. That's just not a thing we do.
It's sweet that they are engaged in trying to get married young when that's not what the culture celebrates these days. And most of the haters are bitter and have this arbitrary idea of like the milestone where you should be allowed to get married, whether it's 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all arbitrary anyway. And her logic is the same as anything that she does in her career. Like, if I'm able to have this big career right now, why can't I make another big decision about my life? Thank you.
I will make an exception here. I have to cut it off.
What?
I'm gonna have to see if it goes. Is it gonna go? Because it's been possessed. Oh,
it's behaving normally now.
It behaved normally for that, but it wasn't behaving normally before. Guys, I think that the ghost or Kevin Spacey did break it earlier. Maybe now that we're off the Kevin Spacey discussion, it's no longer trying to take me or Mary out. And that's why it's no longer acting
was
badly.
Kevin Spacey
It's like if you looked
hacking
at
us?
He kind of was. I think he might have done. He was like, just like he hacked that car in the trailer, he did that to us.
I'm going to have to double check that my brakes work before I leave today.
Yeah. It's like go under the car, make sure there's no brake fluid leaking.
Yeah.
Anything like that. So, yeah, like, did they ask the men questions like this? Did you get along with all your castmates?
No, they never ask, how did your female co-stars treat you?
Yeah.
Like, they never ask questions like that. Of course.
Of course not. That would be ridiculous.
No.
That plus, like, and there's no good answer, right? Like they would, if he was like, "Yes, I was mistreated," they would just be like, "Why are you whining about it?"
They also said that it's unusual that she played an ultra high-powered female protagonist, and I was like, name a female protagonist today that isn't
ultra high-powered.
Yeah, though.
I love that. Like, I still go through and I like when I'm watching a movie and I'll read like the interviews about some character, and like I think this came up in The Peripheral. She's like, yeah, and she's like strong, and she doesn't need any help, and I'm like, she's like, it's just so rare, and I'm like, it's literally the opposite of rare.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. Like a guy character being like generally competent, not an asshole, and not constantly being vilified or talked down to. That would be rare. But, you know, like there's a reason why we made such a big deal during Top Gun Maverick about the fact that his character wasn't talked down to or insulted, despite the fact that his age was part of the character.
Yeah.
Also, somebody in the chat pointed out, yes, thank you, Gabby. Oh, they're saying I watched Buffy. Go watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It wasn't rare back in the late 90s, and it wasn't rare in the mid 2000s. It's not rare. It's just a weird narrative that Hollywood has put up, and that they can go on forever. They can just keep making these movies. Like when they get to the next reboot of Snow White, whoever comes after Rachel Zegler in 10 years, it was like, we need to retell the story. We needed to tell it's rare. She can't be saved by the prince. And they'll be like, she wasn't saved by the prince last time. And then they're like, yeah, but it's so rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare for a strong, independent woman that don't need no man to exist in a Hollywood movie. Who could have seen that coming? Like, instead, I would like to see a character where it's like, she's a mom. And she chooses to be a mom, and she's a good parent. And the dad is like a guy, and he goes to work, and he's not a bad person. Like I was watching an old episode of it was like an episode of House, and one of the things, that show is very known for its not like nihilism. Like it had a very pessimistic worldview most of the time, and Taub says something like, I think they were talking about the benefits and the downsides of like having both parents at home. And he said, like, I think all homes are single parent homes. I think mommy does dishes and is depressed. Daddy reads just enough bedtime stories to not put a shotgun in his mouth. Like that's a very pessimistic worldview, but that's how they saw even 2-parent households back then. So it's not like you go to Hollywood for some positive pro-family look.
But Hollywood is also made up of former theater kids that were social outcasts in their own in their own social environments, and then they make movies about the way that high school really is, and it's just full of, you know, bullying and literally sociopathic levels of bullying.
Was that your experience in school?
No, of course not. I don't think it's almost anybody's, but like especially mine, because my school didn't have popularity because there was literally less than 200 students. Yeah. And we didn't have bullying, at least not to my knowledge.
There was cliques in high school where I went to school. I was a bit distracted because I was so focused on skating at that time that maybe I was just oblivious to all this. And all of my friends went to different schools because I hung out with people that skated, not necessarily just people that I went to school with. So I don't have any recollection of bullying or anything.
You need only look at Stephen King's writing to understand what the trope that I'm talking about. Like,
I believe that it's real. It wasn't my experience.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of antisocial people that have risen the ranks of Hollywood and are using the material they create to propagandize the rest of society.
Did anybody like in the chat? I wonder if people in the chat were had experience with bullies, because it wasn't my experience. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that I didn't experience it. Therefore, but like I said, I was so distracted. I had my own, like I was doing my own thing, and I just really wasn't focused on what was going on at my school. I just couldn't wait to be done. I couldn't wait to graduate so that I could just move on. So.
Lived experience.
Yes, exactly. Lived experience. All right, let's go to Super
You should
Chats.
put that phrase in your list, your growing list of phrases that don't make any sense.
Lived experience.
Lived experience and my truth. DD Magadudu97 said, why is showing a tachometer in a Tesla? What?
I didn't even know. Was there a tachometer in the Tesla? I didn't notice it.
Well, we don't know if it's a Tesla.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Did we read this $20 one from Retrocalypse? I guess we missed that one. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that, man.
Oops. Kevin Spacey's best movie was Swimming with Sharks, and funnily enough, it's a movie about the moral bankruptcy of the movie business. Seriously worth a watch.
I've never seen it, so I'll have to look at that. Like, I'm a Usual Suspects fan all day, so.
Shane H. Wilder said Brett Dasovic in Bro White.
Look, that's something that the Wayans brothers could have made 15, 20 years ago.
If only.
That would be amazing. Are you kidding me? Let's do that. If white chicks could be a thing, they can make Bro White.
DCNC said, with Spacey, the accusers were men. Men don't make for good victims. Shrug.
That could actually be a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Might be.
Right? Like, and there could very well be more that nobody knows about.
What if he were a bisexual predator?
Yeah.
We never know.
Yep.
Perturbed Alpaca said more burr.
Thank you.
Yash said, yeah, more burr.
I think we have since fixed it. And 1,000 Foot Deep End says $2 crisis party. That's not fair. That was like a free crisis party that you guys got. And frankly, didn't they get a free one last Friday too as well?
They did, because of a
like
glitch.
You guys have, like, I think you should give us a third crisis party today because you have since gotten a bunch of free ones. But that's just me. I'm just asking for a fair exchange of goods and services here.
High Voltage 75 said burr. Perturbed Alpaca said burr.
Thank you guys.
I like that you're all just one voice. Like you're a big hive mind.
Yes. Shane H. Wilder.
Mr. Robot had an episode with a smart home.
Okay.
I remember that now. Yeah. Holly Movie Star said, check out the movie Pulse 1988 PG-13. It has the concept of a demonic smart home before smart homes became a thing.
All right.
Okay. Chris Chan said, thoughts about the new Godzilla show on Apple Plus? Apple Plus? Is that what it's called? Mm. Also, what's your thoughts about the new Godzilla vs. Kong movie coming out soon?
I will go see the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. I'm probably not going to watch the Apple Plus show. I've never been a big Godzilla King Kong person. I'll watch them. Like, I enjoyed the 2014 one. Even though, like, the big complaint is, like, there's barely any Godzilla and it's mostly, like, humans. And Bryan Cranston's, like, heavily advertised and then, like, 10 minutes into the movie. But I didn't hate that movie. Like, I thought that was pretty good. So, like, those movies, maybe one of the things for those movies is, like, I'm waiting for that one that really works for me. Right? Because I'm not like a buff. Like, I haven't watched all of the old versions of it or anything like that, or have any deep connection to it. But maybe one day they'll make one of them that's just really, really good that will speak to me. But none of them have since done that for me. I did feel differently about, like, I did get grabbed by, like, when they did the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes trilogy. But they're doing a new one of those now too, from what I hear. Like, they barely waited 5 years for that.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, I didn't need a psychic to tell me a famous actress was a feminist. Well, she did, though.
The problem is she
wasn't sure.
Yes.
Ghost Soup said, sci-fi show Eureka had a smart home takeover episode.
Yes. Okay, so this is what happened. In the show, the main character, he lives in a smart home named Sarah. Sarah is really just the female, like, it's one of the other characters, Fargo's voice, but he's making a girl. Like, when in the very first episode, he's like, the home is talking to him while Fargo's in the room. He goes, Fargo, is that you talking with a girl voice? And he says, yes. But the point is he's thinking about Carter, Sheriff Carter is thinking about leaving town. He's thinking about leaving Eureka. He's in his pajamas. He's ordering pizza at noon on a work day. He's calling in sick to work. And he's thinking about taking vacations to, like, Bermuda. And the house doesn't want him to leave. The house wants him to stay. So the house orchestrates all these people to come over under false pretenses and then locks them all in. And then I don't remember what the malfunction is, but the house gets put into like attack mode and becomes evil. It's fantastic. The show is basically a drama comedy. Everyone should go watch that episode. I believe, if I remember correctly, it is still available on Amazon Prime. Love Eureka.
I think that smart homes are very dangerous, so I see them as a real threat.
Yep.
Bang Bang Lulu said, "'Tis but a taste of demon AI's power. PCC, heed thy warning."
Yeah, like that's like we keep making fun of AI and we keep making fun of.
It might get mad at us.
It's like one of these days. It's actually gonna be. The machine could just force us to come out and actually drown us in money. That'd be bad.
We don't have enough money for that.
You never know.
It's okay.
It'll just make money appear.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Overlapping conversation is a normal part of friendly banter. I've never seen it as talking over each other."
Yeah, I don't either. But some people, but also you're like part of like Shane. You like watch the show, so it's like you're in on the discussion with us. Somebody who might just be checking out the show for the first time might see it as more adversarial than someone else.
Don't know.
Perhaps.
Bro Cody said, "Drake's the kind of guy who floats when he smells pie."
We've shared some of the amazing ones. There's some amazing Drake ones. That Drake's the kind of guy memes that I really love.
When he sees Millie Bobby Brown, his eyes pop out of his skull.
I love it.
Stephen Morris said, "Does the party meter need to be so loud? Just concerned for you guys."
Is the party meter loud?
I think we're okay with it.
The headphones protect us.
Yeah. DD Megadoodoo97 said they should make a current day version of The Wiz.
Never saw it.
I don't know.
And there's two more here. I would still like a third. I still think we should get a third Crisis Party given the fact that
pretty far off at the moment.
We're not even halfway there, but it was worth a shot.
Saltonio Banderas said, "PCC usually closes my last 2 hours of work."
See, like I always say, and I made kind of a sappy post yesterday thanking people for watching. Yeah, I did. Look, because it was right after we found out the information about the Daily Wire, and I don't remember, I was watching something from Barstool, and I was like, there's so much content out there. There's so much stuff that people can be out watching. So the fact that anybody takes the time out of their day to stop, turn us on, and listen to us yap about whatever's on our minds, I find that to be rather wholesome. So thank you guys.
1,000 Foot Deep End said, okay, I'll contribute to a real crisis party. Here's $10 to help make up for my absence over the last several weeks.
Well, thank you so much. And now we are getting closer, but we're under halfway there. But
Derpspace 9 said The Wiz starring R. Kelly.
No,
Yikes.
thank you. Oh, big yikes, as the kids say.
Big yikes.
All right, guys, before we go, again, I wanted that third Crisis Party. That's okay. Before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already? Again, thank you so much to all of you who come hang out and watch these live streams every day, who have subscribed to the channel, who watch the videos, who comment on the videos. We appreciate it very, very much, so thank you for that. Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at MaryArchived, or you can send me hate on Twitter. That is also MaryArchived.
And there's one more there.
Oh, from Yurishima Otaru. The Wiz is a Black Wizard of Oz with Michael Jackson.
I did not know that was a thing.
Is that real?
Must be.
I don't know.
All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for joining. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show, Pop Culture Crisis, is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We have one more from Trudy Jones giving us that third Crisis Party for $99.99, $100. Thank you so much. Says, since you asked so nicely.
Well, thanks.
Thank you so much for that. And it'll likely come right before we finish the outro. And then one more from High Voltage 75 says, don't whiz on the electric fence. I'll give you a Crisis Party. I don't get the reference, man.
Nope.
You're gonna have to get it. So 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, we are on Amazon Music Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. One more from Deep Space Nine. He says, is that how he turned himself into a white woman? About Michael Jackson.
What?
About Michael Jackson.
I'm so confused.
In the Wizard of Oz one earlier. I don't think so, buddy, but I get it. 5 days a week, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. The real question is, do we want to wait here until it goes off air, or do we want to do it after the fact?
We should give you the post-credit scene.
Post-credit crisis party?
Yeah.
Post-credit crisis party? One more from Gordon Shumway says, yes, Mary, The Wiz had Michael Jackson in it. He played the Scarecrow. I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of that in my life.
There we go. All right, guys, we will do a post-credit crisis party. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Later. And guys, with 67% of the vote, everyone is looking forward to Brett Cooper as Snow White and less so Rachel Zegler's movie flopping. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.